Working with ultracapacitors can be very dangerous. It's easy to cause harm to yourself, other people, or your property. Please do your own research and work safely according to all safety guidelines. Hi, welcome back to the Gabster channel. This is going to be a video about the little update on the Gabster TD1 with its latest power supplies that IanCanada has been producing. With the Gabster TD1 in mind, I've been bugging about those, about the plus and minus 5 volt, the UC Pure Pro, and the 15 volt, the UC Pure Mini. So let's have a look at those and how they integrate so well with the Gabster TD1 DAC. Also, if you're interested in finding out what's coming up on the future on the Gabster channel, I strongly urge you to check out the end of the video. I'll be talking about some of the upcoming things on the channel. So here you can see my Gabster TD1 DAC. For those who are not familiar with it, I will put a link in the description and also a link in the corner above. So just in case you're not familiar with it, it is for me one of the best DACs I've ever heard. You can see the Gabster TD1 DAC running here with the Gabster CR3 Dual Pro and the version 3 of the CR3 for filtering the 15 volts. You'll see beside it IanCanada's PCM board, and on the very bottom you'll see a power supply for that. There's a Raspberry Pi hiding in the middle in here. So basically the signal comes from the Raspberry Pi to the 547, which reclocks and cleans the I2S signal. Then it goes into the PCM board that further splits the signal, and then it goes into the Gabster TD1 DAC. And from here, it goes into the preamplifier. And for power supplies, and this is the very, very interesting part, what we have here is two of IanCanada's latest productions. First one here, this is a huge, massive power supply for plus and minus 5 volt running on a couple of the big, huge capacitors. And so this has been a really, really good power supply. It does actually make a tiny bit of a difference in the sound. Every little bit helps. People ask me, oh, do you feel a difference? Well, sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. But when you start adding multiple things together, and before you know it, then you do feel and hear a difference in improvement. Beside it here, we have the UC Pure Mini. And this is a very, very latest one that I just put a video on. I've been loving the UC Pure Mini. It's working flawlessly with the Gabster TD1 DAC. And the reason I like it is when it comes to 15 volts, if you want to use big supercapacitors, you need 6 of those. So that becomes quite a large contraption. So if you have the room for it, yes, sure, that's fine. But when you don't want to, have a massive boxes, then it's actually, the Mini works just beautifully. Now I have it here with a combination of my CRC Pro filter. I have it here in a case, and you can see it connected here with a short wire to the Mini here. And what this does, because these are those small supercapacitors, their ESR is 3 milliohms. So basically, when you have 6 of them together, you get about 18 milliohm of ESR. Versus when we add the CRC Pro here to the mix, and this has 0.29 milliohms, so like 290 microohms. So a combination of those two together is just beautiful, because you do have the storage of these and the purification of these, and also the lower ESR with the CRC Pro filter. Together makes a really nice combination and keeps things in a smaller package. So what's beautiful about the UC Pure Mini is you have what we call a narrow range. And narrow range, what it does is actually it keeps the voltage tight between, I believe, 14.7, I think I looked at it, and 15.5. So it was really nice because it kept it at a nice, very nice voltage for me for the Gabster TD1. That works just flawlessly. If you don't want it this tight and you have something that's more leeway, you can put it a little on off, and that you have a little bit. I think it's from 13 something till 15.5. Ian will have a manual soon and we'll have all these information in there. So this is like in a nutshell, just showing you some of the upgrades here. About the CRC Mini, which I just did a video about, and that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, is just to show you guys that these have been running really well. Remember, these are from AliExpress, the supercapacitors, so always skeptical about them. When I first plug it in, it takes about 5 minutes to charge from empty to full, but that's the very first time only. After that, it's probably about maybe 10 seconds to get them going, so it's really fast. Another really important feature is the sync charging. So if you plug from the sync, you plug in the sync cable, these can be daisy chained through other UC Pure product. For example, here I have it plugged in through the UC Pure Pro Plus and 5 volt. And at the end, it plugs into the monitor Pi. You can also plug into your power supply as well. And what it does is just it charges between songs, or when, let's say, you're taking a mini break, you're trying to find another song to play, so you're waiting like a few seconds or a minute. And during that time, it will actually take that non-used time to actually charge the power, your power supplies. And this basically, especially for something like the UC Pure Mini, because it doesn't hold a lot of charge, it's a precious time to keep it charged and keep it topped up to the 15 volt mark. And so I find this a really, really great feature. You can also fine tune the timing of how long in between songs it takes to start charging. That's done through the monitor Pi here. I personally prefer to charge it as soon as even when you switching between songs. Some people don't like the clicks. They think, oh, something is wrong. It's actually normal. It's just the relay clicking to charge the power supplies, and when the song starts, it stops. It's just simple as that. For me, I like that feature and keeps them topped up. So first time I ran them, they got a tiny bit warm, but that was the very first time because they're going from 0 to full. Otherwise, they've been running fairly fine. If you are skeptical about buying supercapacitors from AliExpress, I did a video once where I actually used different supercapacitors I bought from Mauser, and they also run really well. Other than that, these been running very nicely without any problems. Actually, they work fine. I strongly suggest you do check voltages. It is very important, and especially at the beginning and even further down the road, is when you first plug in to charge those supercapacitors, that the overall voltage, the total voltage, is not exceeding, for example, in this case, the maximum power rating of these supercapacitors is 17 volt. So you can see this is the maximum you can charge. These is 15.78. That's my unit that's coming up here. And so we're still below the 17 volt rating of these, the total of these capacitors. Now that's not the full story. What you need to know also, check that there is these should not get warm or hot, definitely not hot. Sometimes they may get a tiny bit warm, but nothing. Usually that's only happens at the very first charge. After that, they should not be even getting warm. What you want to do is also check that the balancing is running correctly. So you put them on their side, and you'll have access to all the capacitors individually. And be careful what you're touching here, so you don't want to short anything. And you want to check each individual one. So you see here we have 2.8, we have here 2.77, and we have here 2.85. So this is getting a little close to the limit that I would feel comfortable with, for example. And so I'll have to keep an eye on that one. And if we look in here, you'll see this is 2.3, so that's a bit low. And this is 2.74, it's okay. And this is 2.32. We have a couple low ones and a couple, well, one really high one. Now, none of them did exceed 2.85, and so the bouncer are still doing their job. Still not super comfortable. I would probably want to keep watching that more carefully. If you want to get a tighter balancing, sometimes you unplug everything, and the capacitor that's slow, you can individually charge it, so you could raise its voltage a little bit, and sometimes keep some balance a little longer, but that's a bit more technical. But it's up to you to do all the safety checks to make sure that the unit you buy is actually working to proper specification, so you know, if you do all your diligence, you do all the checking, so it's your responsibility to make sure all this is running correctly, so you don't end up having a big accident. Any of these with an over voltage will more likely fail, either immediately or over time. It'll swell up, puff, you could have a small little fire, things badly could happen, and it's up to you to make those checks and make sure you do your homework and check all the safety standards. When you're running these in this kind of format, always make sure you're around, so don't leave them unattended, and only leave them unattended when you have them all in a metal box, well contained, and have been safety checked by you many times. Make sure you are using wires that are not flammable. These are PTFE wires. They do not catch fire, not like some of the cheap basically cables. It's up to you, because that's the number one cause of fire, is the cable will short and the cable will actually catch fire. Then your wood catches fire, then the whole house is on fire. Are buying these, do not buy the 2.7 version. It's easy to find the 2.7 version. Buy the 2.85 version. If you can find the 3-volt version, even better. If you are using my CRC Pro here for the 15 volt, because of the capacitor being rated for 16 volt max, I strongly suggest you house those in an aluminum case, and make sure you keep that closed. And this way, just in case one of these pop out, or for example, I can't guarantee the quality of manufacturing or the capacitor. You know, you have so many, all you need is one that's not very well manufactured to pop on you, and you don't want to have your face sticking in there, or, you know, just in case they pop. So I'd strongly suggest you make a little case for them. The cases are easy. I'll put a link in the description below about how you can find those cases. There are millions of them really on, there's a million of them on AliExpress and Amazon actually. You just have to figure out what size you want to use, or you might want to incorporate in a bigger case in case you're doing a bigger project. Talking about cases, when it comes to AC, there is no excuse to have anything exposed on the outside. No circuit that has high voltage should be exposed at any time. Everything should be always in a case. You can see here, I'm just gonna open this case for you here. You can see here that the transformers are in a case, all the wiring is nicely laid out, and there's a fuse here, there's a switch. This, you can get those. It has actually the connector, it has a built-in fuse and a switch, so it's kind of nice. You get all three in one, and this way it saves you from having different components in there. There's some things that you need to be aware of. I used a laptop power supply, and everything was not working well. The voltages wasn't recharging at a certain set point the way it's supposed to be. So then I realized that the laptop power supply user was very, very noisy. It was just creating a lot of havoc into the system. So make sure you use, if you find that your laptop power supply is not working well, make sure you grab a different one. Ideally, it's better to use transformers, to be honest with you, and avoid the laptop computers, because they can be noisy, and noise could jump wires and still get it slightly into your system, despite being galvanically separated, because things can jump over without even being connected. Another thing you want to watch for is when you do first charge these, like I said, just keep an eye on them, put your hand to make sure they're not getting hot, check the voltages individually, and just be very vigilant the first couple times because it's a new pack from AliExpress, so you kind of, there's always question marks about the quality of construction and whether it's going to be well. Otherwise, these are very, very inexpensive, and especially if you house them in a big metal container, they could be good. But do your own diligence. I cannot vouch for any product. You can buy something slightly that looks the same but not the same, or have different manufacturing qualities. So you need to check your own stuff, measure, make sure nothing's overheating, make sure you're comfortable with the safety level, and check all your safety parameters. So I'm not responsible for any one of your mishaps here. So just do your homework, basically. We finally have, for the folks that want to run on supercapacitors, a system that actually seems to be reliable and efficient, that works very well with my Gabster TD1 DAC. Now, having all these supercapacitors may not be your cup of tea, and you may not want to go to this level. Supercapacitors can be dangerous, and they can, things could happen. So some people prefer to just stick to small little power supplies and not go that road. Then you just use, IanCanada has a beautiful linear pi and a linear Pi Pro that you can use very nicely. Also, if you add one of the CRC filters to them, it actually brings CSR lower and filters not that have any noise. Those ones don't have any noise, but it just makes it even slightly better. So you can go that road. And the difference in sound between this and, for example, a linear pi is not massive. It's very, very minimal. So it may be for us who wants to have the absolute best, yes, sounds better. But if you're using just the linear pi, you're not like losing a lot, maybe a couple 2% difference, or maybe it's hard to quantify things. But for us audiophiles, we want always the best. For those people who want the best, this is the best. Now, having just power supply doesn't make your system better. It's all about how it's designed, how well it's performing with all these different things. One thing doesn't create, so you can't take a crappy amplifier and give it a better power supply and expect it's going to be great. It's not going to happen. So you need every bit counts, from the small little wire to the plug to the wave system. Also the design of something like the Gabster TD1. People think, oh, I'm just going to make my own TDA 1541A thing. I'll just play. Yes, you can. A lot of brilliant people have done it, and it turned out good. But there is we have some better systems now with the new power supplies, so it kind of makes things better. The OPA 861 works wonderfully in combination, but also how it's designed together to work seamlessly. One little small thing could change the sound from okay to great, or vice versa. I've spent months and months fine-tuning this system to where it is now, and we have hundreds of people like you who build this. They're absolutely happy and love it. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about things that are coming up on the channel. I got a Quantum Asylum. This is the QA403. It's basically, it's an audio measuring device, so analyzer. So this is going to be a really good asset to the channel, and you're going to see me at some point. We're going to go through this and see the benefits. It's what it is. It's for the folks that don't want to spend, $20,000 or more on an audio analyzer. This is about $600 US. And it actually works beautifully, and I'll do a video. It's going to take a while. Don't expect that to come in a week or so. It's going to take some time, but this is a great measuring device that really helps us. So this actually does the trick, and for a fraction of the price. Moving on, we're going to be checking out this Marantz CD player. This is a 99 SE limited, and limited is a keyword here because only those ones have the dual crowned TD8 chips. We move along again, and this is a pretty new discovery for me. This is a laser disc player, and what's really cool about these is that they actually not only play basically laser old discs, but they actually play CDs. Moving along, I've got here, I bought this from my own money. This is a Weem Ultra, and I also bought the Weem Pro actually. And the purpose of these is to, in the future, I want to just open them up and actually see if I can fine-tune them and tweak them and Gabsterize them, if you can call, because they have a really nice interface on them, and that alone is actually a really cool thing. And how cool would it be if we can connect those to a Gabster TD1 DAC? Think about that. Now, don't be expecting those videos to come out really quick here. These are basically long-term projects that I'll have to work on as time permits. So it might be more late fall, winter project, but that's going to be fairly interesting to get to these projects. I can't wait. Also coming up, there will be a big project about putting the Gabster TD1 DAC together, kind of like when I built the Gabster D11, and that's basically just to finalize it, put it in a case and have it finalized. So that's going to be also another project to be working on. So there's lots in the pipelines here. So as you can see, we've got a lot going on. In the meantime, if you want to know more about the CRC Mini, I'm going to put a link for it in the corner here. And if you want to know more about my Gabster TD1 DAC, I'll put a link for it in this corner here. And there'll be a speaker in the middle if you'd like to subscribe and support the channel. There are things that I put on my Patreon that I do not put here on the main YouTube channel. So you might want to subscribe to my Patreon. A, will support the channel, and B, you'll get some really cool information that you don't actually get access to right here. Take care, and I hope to see you again.